Katie here again. Hopefully you enjoyed our how-to video on thaumatropes. Today the goal is a little bit different. Today I'm going to tell you about the history of thaumatropes and how they came to be developed. Thaumatrope is essentially a big, long, fancy Greek word for wonder turner. And at the time, inventors were using these big, long words to make these simple inventions that were essentially later marketed as toys to children seem more illustrious and something worthy of study. One of the more interesting stories around thaumatropes is really who invented them. So the invention of the thaumatrope is largely credited to John Ayrton Paris, who published a description of the thaumatrope in his 1827 book, Philosophy in Sport Made Earnest, which was a book for kids, believe it or not. Now, there is a conflicting story or competing story that Charles Babbage, who was an inventor of an early model of a computer, put out there in about 1864. Charles Babbage told this story to his friend Henry Fitton one day. And he told Fitton that he and his other friend, John Hershel, are hanging out and made a wager or a bet with one another that they could see both sides of a coin at once, knowing that a coin is a two-dimensional object that has one side and another, and it's kind of difficult to see both at once. So Babbage goes up to a mirror, holds it up, and is like, I can see the front and I can see the back. And Hershel's solution to this is to then spin the coin. So spinning it like a top, you can then see both sides at once. Not clearly, but in theory, you're seeing both at once. So after Babbage tells this story to his other friend, Henry Fitton, a while later, Fitton then comes to him with an earlier version of a thaumatrope. And so according to Babbage, it was Henry Fitton that invented the thaumatrope, not John Ayrton Paris. We do definitively know when the first commercial thaumatrope, so a thaumatrope you could go to a store and buy, was produced. So on April 2nd, 1825, W. Phillips in London filed a patent for the thaumatrope and then began to sell them. So it was just a printed version and you just laced it yourself and started spinning. These earliest versions of commercial thaumatropes cost about 7 shillings or half a guinea, which at the time was exceptionally expensive, as most workers earn about just 1 guinea a week. So if you wanted to go out and buy a thaumatrope, it would cost you half your paycheck. Thankfully, the versions that we made today are a lot cheaper, and hopefully you enjoyed making them. They didn't cost that much to you. And again, we'd love to see what you created, so share them on our Facebook page at Historic Charlton Park. We'd love to see them, and take care.